Alright, so I previously made an overview on the A6400. If you have not watched that video, you can find a link in the description below. But this video will be looking at video samples out of the A6400 since it's targeting videographers and people looking to film. To start off, this is a 4K 30 FPS file shooting on the Sigma 16mm F1.4 lens, wide open. I'm using auto white balance, auto ISO with a fixed shutter speed of 1/60th of a second. To compensate for exposure, I have a variable ND filter screwed in at the end as well. You can see that without the IBIS that the A6500 and the A73 have, there are noticeable jitters in this video. However, this can be easily fixed if the user has a gimbal, Steadicam, something like that, or if they just change and shoot at 120 FPS. But you have to note that without the IBIS at 4K, you have to have some steady hands to be able to get some smooth shots. Next, this is the 1080p 120 FPS file shooting on the Sigma 16mm F1.4 lens wide open. I am using auto white balance, auto ISO with a fixed shutter speed of 1/250th of a second to compensate for exposure. I have a variable ND filter again. Again, since there's no IBIS, shooting at 120 FPS is fine, and it gets some sexy B-roll that can be used for any content, reviews, it's perfect for anything on YouTube now. Coupled with this 16mm f1.4 lens, the shallow depth of field creates some dreamy effects that, are really awesome. Now, in this next test, we are going to look at the autofocus of this Sigma lens coupled with the A6400. The Sigma lenses are known to have some pretty fast autofocus on par with Sony's lenses, but just definitely not as quick in some people's reviews. But in my opinion, for the average person, the Sigma lenses, their lineup, they do very well. So you can see that with my shooting, I tried a difference of center weighted focus with continuous autofocus and also multi-zone focus. The camera does a good job at picking up both when the subject comes in and out of this focus area. I am shooting on fast focus as well, and that snaps on quicker in my opinion and looks a little bit better than just the standard normal focusing mode. Now, some quirks about the Sony A6400 to finish this off that I've noticed. So if you are shooting with the camera, let's say it's pointed at a lower subject and you want to flip the screen around to look at yourself or look at what you're filming, if the screen is not flipped up at a 90-degree angle, it will not rotate. So you will be looking at an upside down image. That's one quirk I noticed. The second thing is that when you're shooting in 4K 30 FPS, it's going to give you face detection, autofocus. If you're shooting 120 FPS, you're not going to get that face detect when you're vlogging or doing anything else. So these are just some things to keep in mind. But overall, the A6400 again is a fantastic package for video, and I guess this is sort of a quick review of the Sigma 16mm f1.4. I have not really shot with any wide-angle lenses, but I found this lens to be awesome as well, and I will be probably picking up a wide-angle for my A7 III soon. So thank you again for watching. You can find links in the description to all the products I mentioned and other videos as well. Please like and subscribe, and thanks.